Okay. Back here at game number 2. Central Methodist won the first game 6-2 over Williams Baptist. Of course, game 2, Central Methodist 14-2, Williams Baptist 11-6. Of course, we had to dodge some rain there earlier. That's Gene Reardon out there. Of course, we should give you the lineups there. We're waiting on the lineup cards for both teams. You can see the umpires out there. So we don't know who's going to start game 2 yet, but we're hoping maybe it's Haley Cotter or maybe Hallie Ferris. So it looks like we have the lineup now. We just hopefully will get one of them. So let's see. Williams Baptist. It looks like it'd be the same thing. It looks like Natalia Watkins will be at second base. Megan Petty out in center field. That's Madison Shoebottom. Will be at shortstop. That's Kaylee Gooch. That's Kaylee Wolf down at third base. Hannah Stallings is the catcher. Looks like Krista Jones will be out in at first base. Maddie Alton. Haltenthal will be in right field. Laya Bias. And Morgan Garner is today's starting pitcher. So Watkins, Petty, Shoebottom, Gooch, Wolf, Stallings, Jones, Altenthal, and Bias with Morgan Garner, today's starting pitcher for Central Methodist. We're waiting on Central Methodist starting 9. Of course, the big hitting star, of course, Madison White. Of course, 2 RBIs for Elizabeth Palumbo, 2 hits by Lauren Hill, 2 singles, 2 bases on balls by Casey Jolly. Of course, the starting lineups for Central Methodist looks like about the same. That's what I'm thinking. It is, of course, Kalina Oots out in center field. That's Casey Jolly out in left. Elizabeth Palumbo at first. Joe Kreider at third base. Madison Roberts is at shortstop. Madison White's at second base. Lauren Hill, the catcher. Looks like Raylene Tanner is the designated player. And then, of course, Carly Robbins is in right field. It is Hallie Ferris today, starting pitcher. Maybe they're going to wait and let maybe Haley Carr pitch on my birthday. Would that be sweet? On Sunday against St. Mary's. So it's Oots, Jolly, Palumbo, Kreider, Roberts, White, Hill, Tanner, Robbins. That's Jim Quick behind the plate, and that's Nestor Shylock. They will rotate the umpires. Get ready for game number 2 there. As Hallie Ferris from Camden came from Jefferson County Community College. Let's see the head coach for Williams Baptist. That's Jessica Nutt. Pat Reardon comes out for Central Methodist. Of course, baseball tomorrow. They're at Oskaloosa, Iowa, taking on William Penn. First pitch is at 1. The second game at 3:30. Games 3 and 4 will be on my birthday. 1 and 3 there. And of course, next year, I turn 50. I'm hoping we may get a softball game or a baseball one be played on March 8th and 9th because, March 10th is Monday. So hopefully we may get a softball game on my birthday, around my birthday, the day I turn 50. As Hallie Ferris will take the mound, 5-0, 2.40 ERA, 14 walks, and 22 strikeouts. Came from Jefferson Community College. I also want to say hi to some of my old friends who I've known for almost 40 years, over 45 years, since we were in elementary school at Slater. That's Melissa and Daniel Morton. If you're listening, I want to say hi. Also, one of my old friends from Central Methodist, who was, of course, the principal, Ryan Neal, his wife, Michelle. Of course, I've known them for 31 years at Central Methodist. So we're about ready to get game number 2 going as Natalia Watkins is the batter. No homers, 5 RBIs in game number 1. Altogether, of course, went 1 for 3 with a single. So Hallie Ferris on the mound there. Goes to the rosin bag. First pitch to her. Came at 3:16 p.m. Temperature 55 degrees. The time and temperature is sponsored by the parking spot. Easy to spot and easy to park. The parking spot at Kansas City International Airport. The 1-0 pitch. Strike call, 1-1 now. Of course, in the outfield, you got Jolly, Oots, and Robbins. In the infield, Kreider, Roberts, White, Palumbo. The catcher is Lauren Hill. Strike 2 on the outside corner. 1 and 2 there. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Natalia Watkins. Strike 3 called, and there's 1 down now. Here is Megan Petty. Oh, no homers, 8 RBIs. Left-handed hitter from Republic, which is where one of my old neighbors from back home, Dina, and of course her husband Seth, fouls it to the screen there. It's a good thing there was a screen because I would try to do what Harry Carey would try to do at Wrigley Field, catch it in the net. And I have seen him catch foul balls in a net. And he even did that on WGN television when he was the play-by-play announcer for the Chicago Cubs. 0-1 now. And it's a ball, 1-1 now. On deck is Madison Shoebottom. 1-1 now. Next game up for the softball one is on my birthday, March the 10th. 1-1. Off the glove there. Nice effort there. That's a base hit, no question about it. That was a good effort there by Joe Carter, kind of catch it, tipped the glove, but a great job backing it up by Madison Roberts, keeping the ball from out of the outfield. Here is Madison Shoemate, 5 homers, 15 RBIs. Allie Ferris needs to talk to the softball. A swing and a miss. Looking like Lauren Hill was getting ready to throw over to first, but couldn't get the proper grip on it. And it's a strike, 0-1 now. Did the right thing, hold on to it. Keep the double play in line. Fouls that one off, 0-2. 22 strikeouts already. That was number 23. Petty's at first with the infield single to short. That went off the glove of Joe Carter. 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 they throw over there. So 2 quick outs now. Good job of framing it by Lauren Hill, as Joe Garziola used to say that on NBC television. Kaylin Gooch, a .455 hitter, 1 homer, 3 RBIs from Batesville, Arkansas. Same area where Central Methodist soft baseball player Joseph Weatherford. Of course, his dad, Steve, lives there. I want to say hi to Steve. 1-0 to count. 1-0 pitch. Ball 2 now. 2-0 on Kaylin Gooch. 2-0 pitch. Fouls it off the screen there. 2-1 there. On deck is Kaylee Wolf. Of course, Hallie Ferris is from Camberton, another former Central Methodist volleyball player. Jordan Wolf came from there. Two-one pitch. Ball 3, 3-1 now. Game number 2, Central Methodist won the first one, 6-2 on a 4-hit performance by Jordan Ball with 12 strikeouts. 3-1 pitch. Little looper. Plays it on the bounce, but nowhere to go. They check the runner at third. The throw kind of gets away. Here comes William Baptist scoring a run. I think Hallie Ferris should have held on to the ball there, to be honest with you there. So a single, an error on. So Gooch, 4 RBIs on the. Here's Kaylee Wolf, no homers, 8 RBIs already. So runner at second. 2 outs, trying to keep it where it is. Looping liner, there's a base hit there. There goes the runner home. They might have her. The throw, they got her. Oh, baby. What a play. Great tag by Elizabeth Palumbo for the third out. So it's a single. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, 1 left. We head to the bottom of the first. Williams Baptist 1. Central Methodist comes to bat there. And we'll set the defense for you there. That's Lyle Bias in left. Megan Petty's in center field. In right field, that is Maddie Altenthal down at third. Kaylee Wolf. Shortstop, Madison Shoebottom. Second baseman, Natalia Watkins. First baseman, that's Krista Jones. The catcher is Hannah Stallings. And then today's starting pitcher is Morgan Garner, 4-3, 3.68 ERA, 7 walks, and 20 strikeouts. And there you see the coach there, Jessica Nutt, getting an explanation from the umpire, Jim Quick. Looking like it was 2-0, but they were trying to discuss the play at home. But a great job there by Oots. Made a good throw to Elizabeth Palumbo and then threw to the catcher, Lauren Hill, for the tag. So 3 hits already for Williams Baptist. 1 run. No runs, no hits, and an error for Central Methodist. Here's Kalina Oots at the batter. No homers, 3 RBIs. 1-0, Williams Baptist. First time they've led. Infield in at the corners. First pitch. That is a ball. 1-0 the count there on Kalina Oots. On deck is Casey Jolly. The 1-0 hits the ground ball to the shortstop. Throws over the first. And there's out number 1. So 1 out now for Casey Jolly. Jolly, 3 homers, 13 RBIs. Been on base 4 times, 2 singles, 2 walks. Elizabeth Palumbo on deck. Of course, I'd like to say hi to Casey's mom, Teresa, listening in Nampa, Idaho. So, Teresa, I want to say hi to you from Nampa. Of course, 30 years ago, on Sunday, Central Methodist men played an opening round game of the national tournament in Nampa, Idaho, against Lynn College of Florida. That's the first time I remember that. 1-1 pitch. And it's a fly ball in the left field. The left fielder, that's a foul ball. The one thing I remember about that one, this is before the internet was started. I remember it was played on a Friday afternoon, about 4:30. Of course, they left St. Louis, the St. Louis International, left the airport at St. Louis on a Tuesday morning. And then that Thursday, played Lynn, and then an hour later, I remember the women's basketball team ate dinner at Ryan's Cafe. Strike 3 call, 2 outs now for Elizabeth Palumbo. No homers, 17 RBIs on the year. Two outs now. First pitch. Ball 1 there. 1-0 the count. Central Methodist has won 5 in a row. Going 4 of them down in Gulf Shores. The 1-0 pitch. 2-0 the count. On deck, Joe Kreider. 3, 4, 5. Actually, they won 6 in a row. Two balls and no strikes on Elizabeth Palumbo. 2-0 pitch. Strike. 2-1 now. 2 balls and a strike on Elizabeth Palumbo from Sterling, Illinois. 1-0 Williams Baptist. 2-1 pitch. Hits the ground ball. There's a base hit for Palumbo. A 2-out hit there. Ladies and gentlemen, as Joe Garagiola would say on NBC television, that is called going with the pitch. There's Joey Kreider, 2 homers, 13 RBIs from Eagle, Idaho. I'm sure her family is listening on the broadcast, and I want to say hi to the family there in Eagle, Idaho. First pitch to her. That is a strike call, 0-1 now. On deck is Madison Roberts. If she can hit into the gap there, Palumbo could score from first, especially when you're running with 2 outs. The 0-1 now. Strike 2, 0-2 the count. Softball next game on my birthday, March the 10th. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who will be wishing me a happy birthday. There's a ground ball to the first baseman for the 3rd out. So no runs on 1 hit. No errors and 1 left. We are through 1. Central Methodist. Actually, Williams Baptist 1. Central Methodist nothing on the Heart Conference Network. Do 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 do. 1 run, 3 hits, and error. No errors for Williams Baptist. No runs. 1 hit and an error for Central Methodist. And then it's Kaylee Wolf up there. No homers, 8 RBIs on the season. Quentin Norris from the catbird seat of the Cox Softball Complex, shivering with his concrete foundations. Here's Hannah Stallings. Allie Ferris trying to keep it where it is, a 1-0 game. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1 on Maddie Stallings. Stallings, no homers, no RBIs. 0-1. Ball outside, 1-1 now. 2, 3. 3 hits already. 1-1 to count. The 1-1 pitch. Fouls it to the screen, and it's 1-2. Krista Jones on deck. Of course, she batted 1 time. 1-2 the count. The 1-2. 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two pitch. It's a high fly ball into left field. I think who calls for it is Casey Jolly is there for out number 1. And here's Krista Jones, 3 for 10. No homers, 2 RBIs. Batted 1 time and struck out. First pitch. Tries the bunt, and it's a strike. 0-1 to count. Maddie Altenthal on deck. 0-1 pitch. It's a high pop-up. Let's see. It's Palumbo Hill, and it's Lauren Hill for out number 2. 2 quick outs now for Maddie Altenthal. No homers, 6 RBIs. First pitch. Strike call. No, it's a ball, I do believe. 1-0 to count. Top of the second. 1-0 lead for Williams Baptist. Ground ball right to Ferris. Throws to Palumbo for a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on. We go to the second. Williams Baptist 1, Central Methodist 0. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for Wayne's Baptist. No runs, 1 hit and an error for Central Methodist. Here is Madison Roberts. No homers, 11 RBIs.
Now batting the shortstop, number 11, Madison Roberts.
First pitch. That is a ball. 1-0 the count to Madison Roberts with Madison White on deck. 1-0 pitch to her. The 1-0. That's on the outside corner. 1-1 now. And then Lauren Hill to follow after Madison White. 1-1 the count. Here's the 1-1. That's in there. Strike 2. 1-2 there on the curveball. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Madison Roberts. One-two pitch. Ropes it foul. 1-2 the count to Madison Roberts. Madison White on deck. A couple new softballs coming into play there. One and two the count. 1-2. 2-2 now on Madison Roberts. Went from 0-2 to 2-2. 2-2 pitch. 3-2 now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three-two pitch. Ball 4, take your base. So lead-off walk there. And here's Madison White. 2 homers, 12 RBIs, hit home run number 2 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. That gave Central Methodist 4-0 lead on the inside the park home run along the right field corner there. First pitch. That is a ball, 1-0 to count. Lauren Hill on deck. 2 big RBIs for Lauren Hill already in this first game. 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0. Ropes a liner. That is a base hit there. Roberts is headed for third. She's being waved around. White is being held at third. And a tie game at 1 on a triple by Madison White. RBI number 13. And a 1-1 tie. Here's Lauren Hill, 1 homer, 12 RBIs. Had 2 RBIs in the first game. There went 2 for 2, single double. Actually, had an RBI in the first game, sir. Now the go-ahead runs at third. Strike call, 0-1 now. Raylene Tanner's on deck. She came in there with 11. And that RBI gave her number 12. The 0-1 is a foul ball, strike 2 on Lauren Hill. That's Raylene Tanner on deck. 0-2, outside, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Madison White at third with the triple. That drove in Madison Roberts. 1-2. High pop up there. Let's see. It may go out of play. Could not tell where it landed. Maybe, or as Bob Euchre would say, it went in the front row. One and two the count on Lauren Hill. 1-2. Hits a high pop up there. Let's see, the first baseman calls for it. Makes the catch for out number one, and staying at third is Madison White for Raylene Tanner. 2 for 9 on the year. No homers, no RBIs. Of course, from Smithville, that's where Haley Cotter's from. First time I met her just about over a year ago was at a Central Methodist softball game. I think she came to see Haley Cotter pitch. Had a great visit with her. That's a ball there. Of course, their girls basketball team, I believe they're playing in the state quarterfinals, I believe tonight. Of course, one of my friends just recently started teaching back at Smithville named Melissa Krogh. Fouls it off, strike one. Also, another friend I want to say hi to, who I've known for several years, used to live in Slater, Missouri, named David Deal. 1-1 to count. Carly Robinson's on deck. That's a strike call, 1-2 the count. One ball, two strikes. 1-2. Hits the grounder, foul. Oh, nice save by Pat Reardon. And the third baseman stepped on Pat Reardon's foot. Oh, no. I'm sure he's okay. At least he did not get hit get hit with a flying bat like they did to Tom Lasorda back in the 2001 All-Star game. But I think Pat Reardon's okay. One and two the count, the 1-2. It's a high fly ball. This should be deep enough for Madison White. And ladies and gentlemen, that's her first career RBI there. How about that? On a sac fly there. First career RBI for Raylene Tanner. She should get that softball there. Why not? Gives Central Methodist a 2-1 lead there.
Now batting the right fielder, number 8, Carly Robbins.
No homers, 3 RBI. So Raylene Tanner got her first career RBI. First pitch to Carly Robbins, and he fouls it off just over the head of Kalina Oots. It's a good thing she had that batting helmet on. Of course, tomorrow, NHL hockey doubleheader begins at 11:30 with Carolina and New Jersey, then Pittsburgh and Boston at 2 p.m. on ABC television. A little over a month and a half from now is the Stanley Cup playoffs. Here's a ground ball. Just gets past the second baseman. And I have a feeling that's a base hit. And, of course, let's see how they're going to score that one. Yeah, I think that's a base hit there. I was hit real hard.
Now batting the center fielder, number 14, Kalea Oots.
Kalina Oots grounded out to short her first time up. So 3 hits. First pitch to Kalina Oots. Fouls it to the screen. Williams Baptist got 1 in the first, but then Central Methodist got 2 big runs in the second. The triple by Madison White, and the sac fly by Raylene Tanner. And a 2-1 lead there. So 2 outs now. Pitcher going to her wristband. The 0-1. A swing and a miss. 0-2 now. 0-2 the count on Kalina Oots. On deck is Casey Jolly. Oh, 2. They throw over there, and back goes Carly Robbins. And the count is 1-2. One and two now. 1-2 now on Kalina Oots. Here's the 1-2. fouls it off. That's off the screen. If she would have caught it, it would still have been dead because it went off the screen. 1-2 now on Kalina Oots. OOTS. One-two pitch. That's a bit high. 2-2. Twos across the board, as Snoop Dogg would like to say it, on the Joker's Wild. Robinson first with the single, then on the error. 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Lines it right to third. So two big runs on two hits, one error, and they leave one. We head to the top of the third. Central Methodist 2. Williams Baptist 1. Two runs, two hits, and an error for Central Methodist. 1 run, 3 hits, and an error for Williams Baptist. That last at bat was ruled an error by the second baseman, so no hit there.
Yes, I am. Now batting the left fielder, number 23,
Layla Bias drove in the only RBI on the ground out. Has 3 RBIs on the year, no home runs. From Cleveland, Mississippi. Allie Ferris just needs to keep it where it is, just needs to talk to the softball. First pitch to her. They anticipate the bunt and a foul ball to the screen. Oh and 1 the count. The 1 pitch. Ball 1, 1-1 the count. One pitch, fouls it off. 1-2.
Mike, can you have Kendall tilt his camera down so you don't see the top of the window?
1-2 the count. 1-2 pitch. Looping liner. Oh, good effort there by Casey Jolly. Of course, spring break starting up there. Usually about 3.5 minutes.
I got you. Sorry, I forgot to respond.
1-2 now. When I was at Central, usually the baseball team would head to Florida, Daytona. I think softball went to Destin. 2-2 the count.
There's about a 30-second delay, so on my end, so give it a couple minutes here, or a couple seconds.
2-2 the count. 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. Good job of framing it. No. But that was a good job of effort by Lauren Hill framing the pitch. 3-2 now. 3-2. Now it's ball 4. Here's Natalia Watkins. She struck out her first time up.
now batting the second baseman, number 30, Nat Watkins.
If you look at it to the bottom of the third, you got Jolly, Palumbo, and Kreider. First pitch to her. Ball 1. Allie Ferris just needs to talk to the softball. And then point to the catchers like Mark the Bird Fidrich used to do for the Detroit Tigers. There's a strike. 1-1 now. 1-1. 2-1 Central Methodist. The 1-1. There goes the runner. Lauren Hill couldn't get a handle on that one there, and that's a stolen base there. That was a good try there, but just couldn't get the proper handle on it. And I believe the count is 2. Well, let's see what Jim Quick says. Oh, it's 1-2. The pitch to him was a foul ball. Now it's 2-2. 2-2 now on Natalia Watkins. Top of the third inning, Central Methodist 2, Williams Baptist 1. 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. Good job of framing it by Lauren Hill. And there's out number 1. That's a big out there. Keeps the runner at second.
Now batting the center fielder, number 14, Megan Petty.
Megan Petty singled, scored the first run on that throwing error by Hallie Ferris. First pitch. Fouls it to the screen. 0-1 there. On deck is Madison Shoebottom. That'd be kind of the name of a family I could hear Richard Dawson used to say on Family Feud. Or even the great Gene Wood. One and one now on Megan Petty. 1-1 pitch. Looping line. Oh, what a catch there by Hallie Ferris. Stayed with it, and there's out number 2. So 2 quick outs now for Madison Shoebottom. She struck out her first time up.
Now batting the shortstop, number 18, Madison Shoebottom.
Bias at second. Walked and stole a base. Little looper. Let's see if Hill can get it. Oh, yes, she did. Oh, baby. And as the great Mel Allenwood used to say on This Week in Baseball, how about that? Boy, that's kind of like Johnny Bench. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. Bottom of the third. Central Methodist 2, Williams Baptist 1. Two runs, 2 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. 1 run, 3 hits, and an error for Williams Baptist. And here's Casey Jolly. Struck out her first time.
Number 1, Casey Jolly.
Bottom of the third inning. Heading toward the 4 o'clock hour on this Friday, March the 8th. Next game up for Central Methodist, 2 days on Sunday. It's also my birthday. Pre-game show 12:45 against St. Mary. 1 o'clock first pitch. On the ground ball, base hit for Jolly. Third hit of the game for Central Methodist. They've had at least a hit in each inning. Here's Elizabeth Palumbo. She's had the first hit of the game with a single to right.
Elizabeth Palumbo.
Guys, good job on that camera angle on that last out. That was really good. Well done.
Thanks.
First pitch. Hit and run play, and it's a foul ball. 0-1 now on Elizabeth Palumbo. From the Chicago area, one of the most famous TV shows that ever took place, The Bob Newhart Show. And a guy named Bob Newhart was a psychologist. One of the best ones was when he was in the office. The receptionist was out in the Miller area. Jerry Robinson was in a foul mood. And he takes his anger out on Carol Kester, who you may remember that the lady who played Carol Kester, was Marsha Wallace. Hits the ground ball, too short, second for one, the first, and that's all they can get. So fielder's choice, 1 out.
Now batting third baseman, number 6, Joey Ryder.
There's Joe Cryer grounding out the first, her first time up. Palumbo's at first. First pitch. Hits a high fly ball. That is a foul ball. Looks like we had to dodge and duck some rain, mostly yesterday. We had some rain sprinkles earlier this morning. Looks like it's starting to taper off now. It's more heading toward the southeast. The 0-1 now. And according to what Beth Finella said on Channel 8, I think Fayette had about an inch of rain on the ground, which was needed. Even though we had 2 inches at 0.2 of an inch in the entire month of February. The 1-1. It's a little chopper to the pitcher. They'll go to second for 1, and that's all they can get. A fielder's choice. So 2 outs now. And here's Madison Roberts. Drew a walk, scored the tying run on the triple. By Madison White. First pitch. There's a strike call. 0-1 in the count there. Madison White on deck. Cryer's at first. Reached on the fielder's choice with 2 outs. Here's the 0-1. Ball 1. There goes Cryer. The throw. Not in. Oh, they got her. Yeah. Got her on the foot there. So no runs on 1 hit. No errors. And no one let on. We head to the 4th. Central Methodist 2. Williams Baptist 1. Okay.
Bales takes this shot, whips it in, and it's in the back of the net!
Kalen Gooch. Single, reached on an error. Two to one's our score. First pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. About 20 days ago, the St. Louis Cardinals opened up the season taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. From 1000 Vin Scully Drive. The 0-1 now. That's a 4-game series starting at 3 p.m. I believe the pregame's at 2 o'clock. One and 1 to count. 1-1 pitch. Ooh, outside. 2-1 now. 2-1 now. Looks like there's a dog on behind the fence there. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 pitch. 3-1 the count. 3-1 the count. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1. Little pop up there. I think Hill has a chance. Does she? Yes, she did. Oh, baby. What a play by Lauren Hill. 2 consecutive spectacular plays. That should be on the This Week in Baseball Top 5 Plays of the Week.
Now batting third baseman, number 31, Haley Wolf.
Kaylee Wolf singled her first time up.
It's like, I was like, what the?
First pitch. It's the ground ball right to Hallie Ferris. Throws over to Elizabeth Palumbo. 2 outs now.
Now batting the catcher, number 34, Anna Stallings.
Here's Hannah Stallings. Flew out to Casey Jolly her first time up. First pitch. Fouls it off. Strike 1 there. 0-1 the count. No balls and 1 strike. The 0-1. There's a strike. 0-2. Oh and 2 to count. 0-2 and it's ball 1-2.
She known for getting it, though. She was trying to get it. If she could just get it through base.
Now wants a visit with Madison White. 1-2 the count. The 1-2. High pop up. Let's see. Oots calls for it. And ladies and gentlemen, 1-2-3 inning goes Williams Baptist. We're halfway home. Central Methodist 2. Williams Baptist 1.
I was waiting for that.
No, got it. No, you got it. I saw it, but the replay didn't get it.
Okay.
I'm ticked. No way. Okay, so I be having to work quick because I had got the ending of it. I gotta work fast if I want to get a replay.
Two runs, 3 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. 1 run, 3 hits, and an error for Williams Baptist.
Now batting the shortstop, number 11, Madison Roberts.
Madison Roberts, remember, she was at bat when Joe Cryer was caught stealing. If everything goes according to plan, we may get to talk with Pat Reardon about today's game and preview the matchup with St. Mary on my birthday. Ball 1 there, 1-0 to count. Baseball team having their practice, getting ready for William Penn on Saturday. Doubleheader starts at 1. 2-0 to count. Of course, we got some NHL hockey. If you're into the hockey one, pregame show at 11 a.m. with Steve Levy, PK Subban, and Mark Messier. 2-0 pitch. Then you got Carolina and New Jersey. Carolina trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. New Jersey, they still have some ways to go to get to one of the 2 wild card spots. 2-1. Then 2 o'clock, Pittsburgh and Boston. Fouls it off. Both teams trying to battle for the President's Trophy. That goes to the team with the best record in the National Hockey League. But sometimes when you win the President's Trophy, you may not do well in the playoffs because a lot of times they usually get eliminated in the first round. We saw that last year with Boston losing to Florida. First round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. A little over a month away from the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's going to be a lot of fun there. If you've ever seen hockey, it's the coolest game on earth. 3-2 now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4 to lead off there for Madison Roberts. Here's Madison White. She tripled, score that drove in Madison Roberts to tie the Mets and then scored the go-ahead run on the sac fly by Raylene Tanner. "13 RBIs on the year for Madison White." First pitch. That is a strike call. Bottom of the 4th inning, 2-1 Central Methodist. They won the first game 6-2. They're 14-2. Williams Baptist is 11-6. The 0-1 fouls it off there, and it's 0-2, heading toward the Central Methodist bullpen. Lauren Hill is on deck. Oh and 2. It's a high fly ball. There's a base hit there. Roberts stops at second. Had to wait for the ball to drop. So first and second, and nobody out for Lauren Hill. She popped out her first time up.
Now batting the catcher, number 15, Lauren Hill.
First pitch to Lauren Hill. It's a little looper. That's going to drop in for a base hit. They're going to hold Roberts at third, and now the base is loaded full of Eagles. And still nobody out there. Here's Raylene Tanner. Has sac fly her first time up. Had her first career RBI. Would it be sweet that her first career home run would be a grand slam? Would that be exciting to watch? First pitch. Ball 1 there. 1-0 to count. Carly Robbins is on deck. The 1-0. Looping liner. That is a base hit there. Roberts will score. Here comes White. Here comes Hill. Not in time. A 3-bagger for Raylene Tanner. And it's 5-1 now. 4 RBIs came in with none all today.
Now batting the right fielder, number 8, Carly Robbins.
So Carly Robbins up there. Reached on an error her last time up. Three-run double and a strike call. 4 RBIs already for Raylene Tanner. Now is 3 for 10, batting .300. 0-1 to count. That is a ball, 1-1 there. So 4 RBIs all this season and all in so far her freshman year. So hopefully they keep the softball there. And could be a nominee for the Conference Player of the Week. 2-1 now. They'll probably announce it on Monday, March 11th. Of course, last time I did that, it worked. Of course, I had Clayton Burke and Carlos Negron win the award this past Monday. 2-1 pitch. 3-1 now. Still nobody out. Kalina Oots is on deck. Bottom of the 4th inning. 5-1 Central Methodist. Three-one pitch. 3-2 now. Tanner's at second with a 3-run double. Started off with a Madison Roberts walk, Madison White single, Lauren Hill single with the bases loaded in. Then Raylene Tanner's 3-run double. Hits the ground ball up the middle there. They're going to hold Raylene Tanner at third. So first and third now. Still nobody out for Kalina Oots, 0 for 2. 7 hits already for Waynes Baptist. Looks like a pitching change here. This time the call to bullpen is sponsored by MasterCard. No, it looks like they're going to stay with it. I thought maybe we're going to have a pitching change there.
Now batting the center fielder, number 14,
Kalina Oates 0 for 2. There you see the catcher directing the traffic. Just like Johnny Bench used to do that a lot with the Cincinnati Reds. He was the master. Probably one of the greatest catchers that ever played Major League Baseball. Round ball. There's a base hit there. Tanner will score to make it 6-1 now. On a sharp single to left. And for Kalina Oots, that's number 4 on there.
now batting the left fielder, number 1, Casey Jolly.
Here's Casey Jolly. First pitch. There's a ball. You bet. 6-1 now. And the count is 1-0 to Casey Jolly. 1 for 2 with a single. Pops it up. Foul ball. 1-1. Still nobody out. 1, 2, 5. 5 hits this inning so far. First and second. The 1-1. Now they check, and it's 2-1. Four big runs in that fourth inning. 2-1 to count, 2-1 pitch. 3-1 now. Central Methodist 15 and looking for win number 15. 3-1 now on Casey Jolly. 3-1. It's a foul ball there. 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes with Elizabeth Palumbo on deck. Three and two the count. 3-2 pitch. There's a base hit there. They're going to hold Carly Robin. Now the ball gets away. Robin scores easily to make it 7-1 now. So second and third now. So it'll be a base hit. Then take second on the third on the throw home. So an error by the right fielder. 1 for 2 with a single. 7-1 now. Even though it's scoreboard 6, but it should be 7 according to my scorebook. First pitch. Fouls it off. Strike 1 there on Elizabeth Palumbo. Still nobody out. Oots at third. Jolly's at second. Jolly has 14 RBIs on the year. The 0-1. Oh, there's the curve. Strike 2. Misses that one. 1-2 now. The 1-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2, 3, 4. So 9 hits for Central Methodist. 2-2 pitch. 3-2 now. Of course, the inning started off with the Madison Roberts walk. Seven to 1 Central Methodist. 5 big runs there. 3-2 pitch. There's a ground ball. Nice job by the second baseman. Throws over the first for the out. And coming in the score is Oots to make it 8 to 1 now. And Jolly hits for third.
Now batting third baseman, number 6, Joey Ryder.
Here's Joe Kreider, 0 for 2. Jolly's at third. So 8 to 1 now, even though the scoreboard said 7, but it should be 8. First pitch. It's the fly ball. Hit well to left center field. Back, away, back, and gone for Joe Kreider. I know her mom. I'm sure everybody in Eagle, Idaho. It is now 10 to 1 on a 2-run homer. And for Joe Kreider, number 3 on the year, RBI number 15. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now it's time for a pitching change. This time to call the bullpen. It's sponsored by MasterCard. 10 to 1 Central Methodist. Way things are going, we may get done early. Looks like a new pitcher on the mound. That is Emberlyn Caldwell. She was the starter in game number 1. Pitched 5 innings there.
Who was that just said that? Joe Kreider?
Yeah, Joe Kreider hit a 2-run shot to left center. It was Jolly moved to third on the ground out and then scored on the 2-run shot.
I mean, you have replays in here. I just think that it maybe it glitched when you did that one. So I don't think you did it. Hello? Right now we're in a softball game. Oh yeah, for sure. Yes. Well, we're at the bottom of the fourth.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yes. Okay. Alright, I'll see you in 5 minutes.
8 big runs already on 7 hits. The innings as Madison Roberts at the bat. She started the inning off with the walk, who is 0 for 0 with 2 walks. There's still 1 out now in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Shortstop, number 11, Madison Roberts.
As soon as they hit it, catch replay. Gotcha.
First pitch to Madison Roberts. There's a strike call. 0-1 the count. Bottom of the 4th inning.
Still, my bad.
Still 1 out now. The 0-1. There's a strike. 0-2. The count. 0-2 is 1-2. So the RBIs, it's in 3 by Tanner on the 3-run double. Oots on the single. Jolly single, pulling well on the ground out, and then the 2-run homer by Joe Kreider. 1-2. It's a ground ball to the second baseman. Throw it over to first. 2 outs now. Here's Madison White. 2 for 2, single, triple, RBI.
Now batting the second baseman, number 16, Madison White.
First pitch. Strike call, 0-1 in the count. Oh and 1 to count. 0-1 now. Hits a fly ball in the left center field. That's going back at the track to the fence for the third out. 8 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, 1 left. 11 men went to the plate. We go to the top of the 5th. Central Methodist 10, Williams Baptist 1. If everything goes according to plan, 3 more outs, then the game will be over because of the 8-run rule. And it'll be win number 15 on the year. 10 runs, 10 hits, and an error. 1 run, 3 hits, 2 errors. Williams Baptist got 1 in the first. Central Methodist 2 in the second, and then 8 in the fourth. For the 10-1 lead, as Krista Jones up there popped out to Lauren Hill.
Now batting the first baseman, number 9, Krista Jones.
So 8 big runs there. If everything goes the way it looks right now, we may get to talk with Pat Reardon. Talk about today's game and preview the matchup with St. Mary's on my birthday, which is Sunday. And I'm sure a lot of my friends are going to be sending me messages on Sunday. So if you have an opportunity, just be sure to wish me a happy birthday. As Jones lays down a bunt. Good throw by Joe Kreider for out number 1 there. Here's Maddie Altenthal. 1 for grounded out to the pitcher her first time up.
Now batting the right fielder, number 32, Maddie Altenthal.
Oh, here's the pitch. Lays down the bunt and a foul ball there. Boy, Hallie Ferris has really settled down ever since the first inning. 0-1 the count there. Heading toward the 4:30 hour. D0-1. Ooh, chin music, a little high, 1-1 there. Central Methodist ranked number 4 in the nation. Their first conference game is in 20 days, taking on Clark at home against at 1 o'clock. At the same time, Central Methodist baseball will play Mount Mercy at 1. There's a strike. No, it's ball. It looked like a strike, but Jim Quick says no, it's ball 2. 2-1 now. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Of course, today's attendance, 42,400 on hand. Millions are watching on television. 2-2 the count. Cox Softball Complex shivering with its concrete foundation. And 2 quick outs now. There's 1 out away for Elia Bass. She drew a walk her first time up.
Now batting the left fielder, number 23, Layla Bias.
Layla Bass drew a walk. Cox Softball Complex shivering with its concrete foundations. Looping liner. There's a base hit. The 4th hit of the game for Williams Baptist. Now they want to put in a courtesy runner. Looks like a pinch hitter there. That's Bailey Crump, who is 1 for 6. No homers, 2 RBIs. From Carlisle, Arkansas.
Now pitch hitting, number 5, Bailey Crump.
Fourth hit again, the first since the first inning. First base runner since the third inning. It's a ball. One 0 pitch. There's a strike, 1-1 now. Megan Petty on deck. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-2. They're just one strike away for win number 15. Listen to this crowd here at the Cox Softball Complex. The 1-2. Looping liner foul just to increase the tension. Just like Ben Scully used to say that on NBC television and also with the Dodgers. One and two the count on Bailey Crump. Top of the fifth inning. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. So no runs on one hit. No errors. And they leave nobody. And that is the ball game, folks. The final score is Central Methodist 10. Williams Baptist 1. Give you the final line numbers. 10 runs, 10 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. 1 run, 4 hits, and 2 errors for Williams Baptist. Central Methodist won the first game 6-2, 6 runs, 11 hits, and no errors. 2 runs, 4 hits, and an error as well. Central Methodist, they're 15-2. Williams Baptist is 11-6. Central Methodist softball, there will be action on Sunday on my birthday, taking on the University of St. Mary. Pre-game show at 12:45, 1 o'clock first pitch there as well. Central Methodist baseball, they'll be at William Penn there. First game of the doubleheader starts at 1 o'clock. Second game at 3:30. Then they'll play on my birthday, 1 o'clock, and then 3:30. And, of course, tomorrow we got NHL hockey. The Carolina Hurricanes take on the New Jersey Devils at 11:30. And at 2 o'clock, the Pittsburgh Penguins take on the Boston Bruins there. This is Quentin Norris saying so long. That's 7,317 of them. We'll have the postgame show with Pat Reardon.